Good morning, participants and masters. I'm very glad to be here today, speaking to you all. My message to I would say my focus is on the beginners, right, who might have heard about meditation, who might have, because today internet is so, ambient, so they might have chanced upon this word called meditation. There are many masters, participants here who might have gone to different disciplines. If you see, there are various techniques to meditation, but what is foremost of all is consistency, your sincerity, your commitment to do meditation is important, nothing else.
Yep.
Right? It's not much different than what we do with other things, like going to a gym maybe for physical exercises, going to a yoga. Similarly, meditation also requires much more discipline to actually do it very consistently. So you need to have a commitment. And we should not walk into any kind of expectations, I would say, when you come to meditation. We'll talk about that as we go through the session. Yeah. That's
Got
the
it.
message.
Thank you so much, Sarath. Just one more thing, right? You are in the corporate field. So corporate is, the word is that there's usually synonymous with a lot of stress, right? So how do you deal with stress? And you have to, that is, if you have to deal with stress, does meditation help at all?
Absolutely. That's a very good question. It's corporate world, I would call it as nowadays, right? In the past 25 to 30 years, the world is much different. Now we are so lost into doing this, doing that, achieving this, achieving that. And if you see, there are more devices, gadgets to satisfy our senses, be it music. There are so much of portability. It gives a lot of comfort. But at the same time, it will make you indulge into it and lost into it. Similarly, in terms of, because you need to earn money to acquire those gadgets, from cars to from all those things. So you are lost into it. You're so lost into it, you're putting entire energy into it, and what happens in these things, your energy dissipates, but energy is the essence. And you get stressed. When you're stressed, when energy is going very low, then your body and mind is susceptible for all kinds of diseases. And that's what is happening. And it very much required that we have to bring back the mind to its natural state, from where it can actually heal itself, the body. So we have that capability, and that's what I would say. Nowadays it is pretty much required. This is the age where we have to get away from all those things, at least for some time, and then concentrate on self and healing.
Absolutely. And Sarath, it does work, right? Because the reason why I'm again asking is, we did a poll on the first day, and 33% of our participants, or 33% of the participants, stress, or rather managing stress, was an important aspect, right? Yes. So meditation does help.
Absolutely. So what we do, Shivu, is we are going to talk about one of the greatest spiritual scientists, I would say, Buddha, Gautama Buddha. And that is the time which is 500 plus BC, I guess. That is the time when there were these many comforts.
Which is called ancient.
Yeah, ancient, and they were only the things are about, they had everything which they can do at that point in time, but they needed to, it's all the work for enlightenment, right? So that age is different. We are going to talk about it, but I will have we have a volunteer and a speaker, Komalika, who is going to present about Buddha. So we will build on what is Buddha, and he's a spiritual scientist. Why I call him as a spiritual scientist is, he did not come to this anapanasati. This is what is the gift given by the great master Buddha. After he experimented with 112 and more than that techniques of meditation. And finally, he came to this point that, hey, Anapanasati is the best way of a self-paced, according to your natural state of mind, where you are in your life, is the best way to actually get into meditation. So, but those times are different. That is the time of more enlightenment, I would say, than rather than a materialistic stuff. So why don't we, request Komalika to go through some of the key messages, right, of Buddha?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Komalika.
Again,
Yeah,
as you said, right? We ended the meditation with gratitude, right? I mean, we have to continue expressing that to this great spiritual scientist as well, right? Who gave this technique for us. And good morning, Komalika. Over to you.
Hi, good morning. Heartfelt gratitude to one and all. It was a wonderful, wonderful meditation session today. And starting with that, let's place gratitude to Gautam Buddha as well. Let me just share my screen. Give me a moment, please. So,
Awesome.
Gautam Buddha, he was one of the high spiritual scientists who discovered meditation. He was born in the 6th century BCE. He renounced his luxurious lifestyle to embark on the spiritual quest. After years of practice in meditation and self-discovery, he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. There were three key themes in Buddha's spiritual research: the Four Noble Truths, where he mentioned that suffering, we suffer everywhere in your life. And there are two main sufferings. That's the Trisha and the Avidya. Trisha is the excessive desire we face, and Avidya is the lack of light and understanding. And to overcome these sufferings, he mentioned the Eightfold Path, which will help us attain enlightenment. And enlightenment is just becoming Buddha. Buddha is not a person here. Here, it is becoming Buddhi, that is, in the state of consciousness. Then we have the concept named as impermanence of existence, where he mentions that change is inevitable and nothing is permanent in this world. So we need to understand and embrace the change and let go of the attachments we have. And then he comes to compassion liberation. He was the first person and the epitome who introduced kindness and compassion for every living being on this planet. And that's where he also introduced us to the loving and kindness meditation. And liberation is to overcome this cycle of birth and death. In the end, I would like to end this with a beautiful quote said by him. That is the three things that cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The quote reflects Buddha's emphasis on the importance of truth, and it is the inevitability of its revelation, highlighting the significance of truth in one's spiritual journey. Thank you, and over to you, Sarath.
thank you, Komalika. Highest spiritual scientist. I like that term. Is definitely. Just imagine how many obstacles he might have gone through while practicing. Why did he practice so many methods? The reason is there is a natural, frequency for each one of us, and one of the techniques will work. But Anapanasati is the frequency which will actually suit everyone. That is the beauty of this method. You don't have to go to any other technique if you have Anapanasati. That's the greatest gift. So gratitude to the masters for giving us this technique. So building on to that, Buddha, that age is different. During that age, it is all about enlightenment. They had all material pleasures. So you will be wondering, everybody might be knowing it, if you pay a lot of attention on this session. During that time, Buddha was exposed to some of the very natural things which will happen with the human life. One is the youthfulness, which he was already there, Buddha at that point in time. Then he saw someone dying, right? So he didn't know that people will really vacate their body and die. He didn't understand that. So that's okay. But the next shock is he saw a very old person frail, right, holding a stick, unable to walk, dependent, unable to do anything. And he saw many other, I would say, situations where he could not understand. He thought that, life is all about luxury and all this stuff. But once he exposed to that, he went into a quest. He didn't understand. So this is what it's like. So that is the state at that point in time. Then he renounced everything, and he need to renounce. And we immediately go to that particular point why he had to renounce. What's happening there is, if you pay with, is very important. Please pay attention. Very important. One of the things what happens in the course of one's life is we acquire so much from our birth until this point in time in our life. And that acquisition of different things, right? Different thought processes, different situations we are exposed to, we are building something in our personality, right? You can type that in the chat box. What is that, right? But as I speak, I will not wait for the responses, but that is what is our ego. Right? So we will now slowly get into what obstacles we have. So the first obstacle what we have is the ego, which we built over the time, from very past in life, from this current life. And then now we are completely occupied by ego. Now we are going to talk about enemies in meditation today, so very quickly. So first and foremost thing what we come across as an obstacle is our ego, which is conditioned over a period of time, from birth to this particular point in time. So it's a sense of identity, right? That I am so and so and so. I am born in a particular family. I have so many possessions. I have this much of wealth. I don't have anything. I am an impoverished person. I am very intelligent. I am a very learned person. So many conditions. I have come from a unique background. All these things are conditioning you. And this is the first enemy which we actually come across while sitting for meditation. So believe me, this is the first thing which we need to set. Meditation is all about dropping everything. If you don't drop, then a lot of things spring from this particular one aspect, which is ego and self-identity. From this ego and self-identity, you get into a lot of those things called attachments. Your attachments to senses, your attachments to what you do in your profession, your attachment to the family to which you belong to, the attachment to the wealth you're going to have, attachment to the knowledge, which is again a memory. Knowledge is a memory which you carry. So with all these things, if you sit in meditation, it is going to make you so uncomfortable. It will make you go away from it. The first thing what we have to do is drop the ego and self-identity. So how to do it? The mind normally in a wakeful state attaches to this ego. That is how we operate in this world. A little bit of ego is required to operate in this world, but just enough. And we need to be aware of it. We need to know everything what this ego is reflecting. That is the first point where we have to understand that ego is playing a big role in day-to-day life. So when we sit for meditation, we have to bring this, mind, which is attaching to this ego, this identity, to one particular object where it starts slowly fading this ego and self-identity. And that is the first process of your meditation, the initial process. So when we sit for meditation, from your ego, from your memory, lot of things will spring. The thoughts, the feelings, the emotions. All these things will spring, and we have to get into this observation mode. Moment we get into this observation mode, moment we are with the breath, you are going away from your ego. The more you are with the breath, you are more away from your ego. So when you are one with the breath, you are only with the breath, then that ego in a more conscious way is faded. You will have just enough ego so that you can get back. Same thing happens when you actually sleep. And when you sleep, in a deep sleep, your ego is zero. You will not get any dreams, nothing. It will be blank. We call it as unconscious, a no thought state. But that is not the, I would say, goal of doing meditation. Something different. We're not going to talk about it today, but we need to get away from this ego and self-identity. So we have to be with breath. That is the first obstacle we have to clear. Let's move on to the next one, which is cravings and aversions. So when we cannot get away from ego and self-identity immediately for the beginners, even for advanced masters, it's very difficult, but it is possible. But from that ego and self-identity, you're attached to so many things. You're attached to your senses. You're attached to your practices. You're attached to your thought process. From that, all these cravings and aversions will come. The cravings will also lead to comparisons with others. What I have, what you have. I have less money, you have more money. I am doing this even in meditation, right? I am not progressing, you are progressing. We get into these kinds of comparisons. The desires. Many people initially, right, when they come in, they want to achieve something. So they want quick results because of that craving. I want more money. Somebody said that when you meditate, when you make it single pointed, then you can actually be very efficient and then earn more money. So your cravings, but that is not meditation, right? Not only this, many things like that. So this is natural when you are coming into meditation from that world. This is very natural that you will have cravings. With cravings, there are comparisons. That is good. But these cravings will also result in another obstacle, which is aversion. Aversion is, okay, I am doing this, but I'm not getting it. I'm not going to do this. Okay, it is really troubling me. I'm not able to deal with it. So it's not for me, right? So aversion. Or you are so prejudiced with others who are progressing. You will say, I will not do it. I am really better what I'm doing in this world. So I'm not going to do this. So these aversions are very important. A little discomfort while doing the practice will take you away from this wonderful practice of meditation. So these all things are springing from your ego. So that's the reason why we have to drop the ego, right? Cravings and aversions. These things will come as a thought forms when you actually meditate. Some of the initial thoughts which will come into your mind. These thoughts needs to be handled, observe, get into observation, and it will disappear. And we have to be persistent. So this is the first of the obstacles that we have to be very worried about. No, I would not say worried about. We need to be very much focused on, right? Cravings and aversion. The next obstacle we have is dullness and lethargy. Why I say pay attention to what we are speaking today is when we are meditating for the first time, we become very mechanical. We are so much into wrestling with your thoughts, wrestling with your thought patterns. You naturally dissipate a lot of energy. So while meditating, it is possible that, you will feel very lost or no energy. That is because you're wrestling with your thoughts. which is very initial stage. That is one thing we need to be observant. Other thing is because of our habits in our day-to-day lives, we are so dull, right? We don't get up early. We have very bad habits in terms of food. We also indulge in a lot of gossiping, right? Talking here and there, going through the news. That too, we are so interested in those kinds of news, the headlines, breaking news. What happens is, you really strong, right? Dullness and lethargy. But we're talking about meditation here. But during meditation, it is possible that because initial stages, you are wrestling with your thoughts, your patterns, you will lose a lot of energy. But when you hold on to this practice of meditation, things will disappear. You will be going away from your ego, your thoughts will come down. If you're very consistent and you start saving energy, and slowly you will get out of this dullness and lethargy. It is possible that, when you're meditating, you will be wondering, hey, why is that I'm feeling so drowsy? So what happens is when you are not able to handle your thoughts and you lost a lot of energy while meditating, which is natural, then your mind will put you to sleep. It is again in no thought state. Very good, because at least with the practice of meditation, we are calming our minds. When you're calming your mind will play a trick, like, it will put you to sleep, but that is unconscious. That is not where we want to do, right? Where we want to go. We want to be very much aware. We want to be aware of your breath and be in that state. So we have to be persistent to make sure that, we are not given to this dullness and lethargy. And the next one, which is very much in this time, right? Why we are talking about this? These times are very different. We are very restless. Why we are very restless is we want quick results. We put a lot of money in share markets. We want to get into a technique. We want to learn music. All we want in few days, sometimes overnight. All of us think that, I put money today, it should be double tomorrow, right? So these are some of the thoughts which will go through. And if you see, there are similar people around you, and if you are surrounded with similar people, it is even more restlessness, more comparisons. And you will be drawn into those kinds of situations where you will become much more restless. So that is what naturally happens when you are coming from your life situations into meditations, which is very natural. And remember, all these things will come as a thought forms, which will not allow you to sit in meditation. The restlessness also creates a physical discomfort, pain here, pain there. But what we have to do is we have to be very persistent and regular with meditation to get away from this. Nothing is permanent. It will pass. It will go away. Remorse, right? Self-pity, or I am not for this. This is not for this lifetime. I will do it later. But these are some of the things which will come because you're not able to handle your restlessness. So this restlessness and remorse is another big obstacle which will keep you away from getting into meditation. And while doing meditation also, these are the first thoughts which will come into your mind, which will not allow you. But we need to be persistent. We need to be an observer. There is a wonderful session in the coming days, how to be an observer. And that will actually clear a lot of these things and make you anchored in meditation. This is another obstacle we have. To all those practices before getting into meditation where you can get away from this restless and remorse. The next thing is doubt and discouragement. Doubt and discouragement, the biggest thing, right? Where you doubt, okay, something is given for free. For example, this program. You think this is going to work? Why someone is giving it for free? That is one doubt you'll get. Second thing is I'm learning from this particular technique in Anapanasati. But I also heard about another technique somewhere else. I read about a different technique. There is one particular teacher or acharya. Which one suits me? I don't think this method is the best method for me, or I don't think this suits me. All kinds of doubts will come. There is also self-doubt. Will I be able to do this? Because I have so many preoccupations. I have to really take care of my family. I have to really earn a lot of money. I have to really gather so many things. Do you think I will be able to do it? Another thing is, I am so bad. I am a so mean person. I don't have patience. Meditation is not for me. These are all self-doubts. And it happens. Or sometimes you look at someone who may not be succeeding in meditation, and you will see, hey, there are people who don't succeed in meditation, but still they are living about their life, right? These are some of the doubts which will come. This will discourage you. And forget about this. What happens is you enroll yourself into some method and you practice it because you are in a habit of quick results, right? Expecting quick results. And you don't get it because meditation is all about dropping all expectations. Then you start doubting again. You become doubting Thomas, right? So you will again go away from meditation. The doubt is another thing. So you need to believe. There is nothing anybody can do for you in meditation. It is you. You have to practice it on a regular basis. It is you. You have to churn your thoughts. You have to get away from ego, the conditioning. Consistently practice the method which is given to you, and then be liberated from all this stuff. You don't have to really go to anybody, right? So that is about doubt and discovery. This is another big obstacle, right? So lot of people will get away from the practice of meditation. Now this is another extreme. So in so many sessions I have taken, people say that I am doing meditation for last 3 years. I am doing meditation for last 10 years. But I don't think whether I'm progressing. It doesn't seem that a lot of change. Initially, there were some changes. Sometimes I feel very good. Sometimes there is no much change. I'm doing the same things what I used to do before. Maybe little better. I'm not going anywhere. So this is a stage which naturally happens when you get into meditation. So we have to be particularly watchful of. So why this happens is when you are meditating, your mind will not completely calm. It is simple but very difficult to calm your mind. So keep doing it. Its natural tendency is to expect so many things. So what happens because of that? Without you knowing, in your subconscious, it is expecting something. And it is not seeing any results. Results will happen automatically. And also, you have to go about your life. You have to take care of your day-to-day stuff. So your practice is also not regular. We have not reached the stage where the state of meditation is not permanent. So we have not strived to that extent initially so that we reach that state where we can maintain that state in your day-to-day activities. When we didn't reach that stage, then these plateaus and stagnations are inevitable. So you'll see that, you have a subconscious expectation saying that, I'm not getting anywhere. I have little benefits from this meditation, but I'm not going beyond it. So this is very natural, and this is the time you have to get with your like-minded people. You have to start doing group meditations. You have to do a lot of reading of books. Get yourself motivated. And have a renewed resolve to do meditation much more strongly, go deeper, learn more techniques to go deeper into meditation. So this is another big obstacle. Some people will get away from meditation once they reach this stage. But let me tell you, even I had this stage where stagnation, nothing is happening. And many of us on this call, I am pretty sure we are in this stage. Nothing is happening, right? Okay, now come to the current age problem, right? We call it as Generation X. Even for the people of this time, right? Other than the Generation X, we have this excellent habit of postponement. I will do it 5 minutes later. Okay, I will do it in the evening, the meditation. I will do it tomorrow. I will start from next week. Okay, let this project be over in my office. I will do it. Now, sometimes it is even ironical. Okay, I will watch this film and after that I will go to a meditation. So my question is, when you have time to actually recreate yourself in terms of going to a park, going to amusement, centers, why not meditation? Why we have to postpone? It is very difficult to believe if someone says that, I don't have time. That's why I can't do it. So postponement is another thing. Postponement is procrastination also, right? Procrastination is something where you will you will generate lot of expectations out of meditation, thinking that this will happen, that will happen. Okay, finally this will happen. So anyways, it is going to happen. So I will do it. I will start it perfectly tomorrow, day after tomorrow. These are some of the excuses we will have for postponement. So let me tell you, repetition is a habit. Only by repeating what you are doing today in terms of meditation every day, which will lead you to the practice. Don't talk about results, right? Just repeat every day, same time, same duration. Just keep doing. Don't postpone. If ever you are getting a thought of postponing, see if you can do meditation then and there itself, just to defeat that particular reasoning. That's how you can kill postponement. Wasting time? Yeah, because thanks to wonderful gadgets we have, nowadays we have OTTs, over the top, where the same show you can watch 10 times if you like it. You keep on doing it. You keep on wasting your time indulging in those cool gadgets. Sometimes you while away also because your mind is not settling. What you do is you just be on the couch and not doing anything, eating energy in words, gossiping. Your thoughts, immediate conversion is words, right? You speak and you lose a lot of energy. And when you don't have energy, you don't want to do anything, including meditation. So you should be very much watchful of how much to talk, what to talk, way to get yourself exposed. So be watchful of what you're talking. Be very disciplined. Talk when it is necessary, absolutely necessary. Regularity. So as I said, repetition should be a habit. You repeat every day what you're doing, meditation. Just repeat. Don't give any reasoning. That brings about regularity. When you are regular, it is like walking the distance. You will see the destination is more nearer every day. You don't have to really wait for the result. It is spontaneously telling you where you are in the journey. Don't have to wait. That's why in Bhagavad Gita it tells that you just have to work. You don't have to look for results. So regularity is very important. Repeat. Make repetition as your habit. Thank you. So this is what I had today. This is very much relevant in current day. So I think we understand. It is not a great sign. These are general things which we are bringing the focus, right? And understand these things are biggest obstacles in current age.
Meanwhile, Sarath, just a question for you. I mean, can the meditation itself become one of those to-do items, right? Is it possible that even meditation, the practice of meditation itself, can become one of those to-do items?
Absolutely. So, like we do the regular activities in the morning, we can put that as a to-do items. But more than to-do, I would say, it should become an habit. Mind is easily tamed with the habits what you form. That is the best thing I would say. That's how we have learned how to button our shirts, how to tie our laces, right? And we do it
Oh,
not being very conscious about it. And how is that it's happening? Because you trained your mind. You put that into a habit. So meditation, getting into meditation is a habit, right? Make it as an habit. Repeat every day. So it should be on to-do list first. Every day. That is the only thing which should be there on the to-do list every day.
absolutely. And Sarath, I think you answered it while you did the session, but there's a question on how to kill ego and identity. Do you want to further expand on that?
Yeah. Yes. So ego, let me tell you one thing, right? So whatever we are actually acting on is because our mind is retracing our memory, which you have already built. It is a cycle, right? So what happens is when you are sitting in meditation, because of this ego, that identity, all those thoughts will actually come in front of you initially. So to kill ego and identity, what I would say is you have to get away from ego. So how you get away from ego is in meditation, you actually choose an object, which is your breath in Anapanasati. When you are shifting your focus from all those thoughts which are coming to this particular breath, that is where the journey to go away from ego begins.
I was a meditator. I'm just listening. I felt today, everyday session is unique. Today's session has a potential for all the attendees or participants to get to the enlightenment. I just wanted to call it out. There is so much that has been covered today. Sometimes we may not even, capture all of that. I just wanted to appreciate it, the way the content is put together. I felt, oh man, yeah, it's, perfect content. My only the point to the participants is, right, all those things that has been described may not applicable to you. There is at least one thing or maybe more than one thing that is applicable for you. Go after that. Transform yourself and then make a difference. If you transform, the people around you get transformed. It's a 10x effect. I really appreciate, I don't mean to talk any additional things, but with, out of gratitude, love, I just wanted to say how I felt listening to those points, and then it really reflected back. It has a potential of transforming the life. But only the thing is, right, we know the knowledge. Knowledge doesn't get us anywhere. We need to bring that knowledge into our experience. I think that's where the meditation, as Sarathji is mentioning, that journey is important, right? On Google, if you Google it, everyone knows what it is. But what Sarathji is mentioning is giving you those baby steps everyone can take to experience yourself for your situation. That's where the transformation happens. Thank you. My gratitude to all of you, taking time, giving this wisdom, a timeless wisdom, or maybe soul wisdom to every one of us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, we really appreciate you calling it out and continuing with this theme of gratitude. Really appreciate it. What you shared.
Thank you. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Remember, knowledge is a memory. You have already experienced something and you're storing it. So knowledge is a memory, right? Experience is more now moment. It's happening now. That actually gets into your memory, becomes a knowledge. So without experience, there cannot be a knowledge, right? So keep practicing meditation, I would say.
I meditate regularly for a few days. Later, I lose interest when my mind is in balanced state. And only when my energy levels are low and feel like meditating, I'm unable to break this pattern. unable to go beyond a certain point in my spiritual progress. How can you break it?
Okay, I think this is one of those initial problems many of us can relate to. So why this happens is, let me tell you, we act subconsciously. Our conscious faculties retrace your subconscious, right? That's how we live in this world. So subconscious has different areas, right? In the subconscious, in the recent areas, what happens is your profession, your family, all these things are stored. So while you're meditating, what happens is your mind is going back to it. When your mind is using lowest energy, it will fall back to its old patterns. So this statement is very important. When you have low energy, you will fall back to your old patterns, right? Because that is easy, right? You know already. You don't have to spend a lot of energy there. So what you have to do is you need to be very persistent, saying that, you need to do that affirmation. Once the mind has one thing, once you know the reason why it is happening, now you know how to come out of it. So this is happening because you don't know that you're preoccupied a little bit about your day-to-day stuff. Or you might be having some subconscious perception about meditation. Or you're subconsciously expecting something to happen. Right? All these things needs to be dropped. You don't have to do anything. Right? Just sit for meditation regularly. Be it mechanical for some days. Until because it happens, you will know for yourself, right? Until that point where meditation will take over. Right? Now what is happening, you are taking over the meditation, right? What is happening is your other situations subconsciously, you may not realize it. It is moving you away from meditation. So what I would say is, be very regular. Don't postpone. Don't give any reasons. Be stupid. Sit down for meditation. Let those thoughts run. Let there be boredom. Watch it. Observe it. There's an excellent topic coming, right? In the coming days. But sit regularly. Do it until that particular point when meditation starts taking over. And that will happen. That will happen for sure. Right? That's what I would say. Hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I got the point that we have to stick on, and I did also experience all the, wonderful changes that happen with the regular meditation. I do have that, but continuously staying with this doesn't happen because once you get into that low point sometimes in your life, so it's very difficult to get back. Like, when you feel very low and you don't have interest to do anything, that time it becomes very difficult. Even to do meditation, it becomes very difficult. So what do you suggest? Like, it has become a loop. Like, some days you'll be able to hook on and you'll be doing great. And once again, if you go back to that lower states again, and I don't know how it suddenly goes after that low states, because everything would be going very fine till tonight, and next moment you feel all of a sudden it triggers. I don't know how that trigger comes back, and then in that moment you don't feel like doing anything, not even meditation, though you know that this is going to help you to come back, but still you'll not be able to do at that some point of time. So how do we get back to normalcy?
I would say excellent question. I am just reminding myself, right, when it used to happen with me. Very good question, Deepika. Thanks that you have asked the question.
But yeah, because depression people, it is very difficult to do anything, not even, getting up and going out, because I have experienced that lowest of lowest states. So it's very difficult to get back. Yeah. After coming back, yeah, it becomes regular and everything is fine. Absolutely. When everything is going good, it's good. But
yeah. So Deepika, if you see, it is very good that you know the very detail of what you're going through. It's very good. And do you know why you are so detailed? Do you know why you are so detailed? Because you become very aware of what you are going through. That is excellent happening, Deepika. Imagine if you are not into meditation, I doubt you will have this much awareness. Many things will happen without you knowing. So one of the greatest thing happened to you Congratulations, because you know everything. That is the biggest motivation for you, Deepika. You know when you are going low. Not many people in depression doesn't even know when they are going low, just triggers subconsciously. They don't know when they are becoming happy. They don't know when they are doing what. The greatest gift which happened to you, Deepika, is you know, you are aware. That is what the first gifts of meditation, that you are aware of it. That itself is a motivation. So why I said, I repeat my same answer, right? You need to be very persistent. See, what happens is you cannot get rid of expectations. You cannot make your expectations zero. That too, people who are in depression, right? In a very short time. Acceptance is very important. You have already reached that stage. You are almost there to accept everything. So these things are happening. Remember, once mind accepts it, that is when it starts going out of it. When you don't accept, it will repeat. And that is what is the depression is all about. You don't accept. Accept it. I am like this. This is happening. So it is giving you two things. It is giving you awareness, state of your awareness that you know now. At the same time, you have to practice acceptance. Accept it. Yes, this is how it is. And the third thing is affirm yourself. I am going to get out of it. Now that you have accepted, complete acceptance. Practice gratitude. There is an excellent session coming up in some days, Ho'oponopono. Please attend that. If not for any other session, but please attend that. You will know how to accept it, love your fellow beings, and move forward. Once you accept it, then affirm that I'm going to come out of it, and you have to do it with smile, right? I'm gonna do it. And then be mechanical, repeat meditation every day. Until that point, meditation takes over. You have to simply do it. Don't expect it to happen tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Just keep walking, keep doing meditation. There will be definitely a time when meditation will take over, and you will only tell in one of these sessions that, wow, it is wonderful. Be persistent. That is the only way. There is no complex answer to it, right? This is the best thing.